You won't believe this news. Scumbag regulator Gary Gensler goes on Bloomberg calling crypto a scam and much more as he tries to save face. And CFTC Chairman Rostin Benham is stepping down. Who will be his replacement, and will it be a pro-crypto candidate? I'll share what the Trump administration is looking to do. And we have a crypto wallet that goes public on the New York Stock Exchange. We're going to see a lot of IPOs in the crypto industry this year. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we got to talk about the price of Bitcoin because we're continuing to see further downside, and this is what I was warning you guys about just a week ago. We saw that potential V-shaped recovery for Bitcoin, and I said, hold our horses. Let's not get too excited. Let's not call home about this because the market can fake us out. And the reason why I reiterate these things, I'm trying to help many of you who are new to the market to understand the dynamics of the volatility and the cycles and not to be dismayed by these things, not to get caught up in the emotional aspect, right? I tried to tell you guys about having a balance and looking at the bullish and the bearish scenario and looking at which has the higher probability of playing out. Sometimes people are in the mindset of being super bullish. So if you say anything that's even a little bit bearish, they get triggered, or the vice versa. Some people are very bearish, and if you say something bullish, they get triggered. I see it in the comments. But I hope those of you who are thinkers and logical thinkers here understand why I gave you both scenarios and that I was calling for this thing to potentially now, I'm not saying it will, to roll over and test further lows, and look, and lo and behold, Bitcoin faked this out, right? It started moving up and so did some of the other altcoins, XRP, Cardano, and then roll over. But it doesn't matter. From a macro perspective, we're going to higher highs this year. This is why you got to zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. And this is playing out like it did in 2020, guys. We are seeing a similar pattern on the charts. I showed it on Monday's live stream, and you hear Crypto Wizard highlighted it. He's saying, history rhymes. Haven't we seen this before? After January set a low in 2024, Bitcoin rallied and never looked back. The same playbook being followed this time around. The 2025 bull run is far from over. 120,000 is inevitable. And guys, if you look at the Bitcoin chart and we just go back to 2020, same pattern. Huge pump into December, big correction, but then the market started pumping again as we went later into January, into February. So guys, be patient. These are the market cycles. And look, we are still at $3.3 trillion market cap. Bitcoin is still over $90,000. So while this pullback may seem like, oh no, what's happening? Is the bull market over? Macro factors, inflation, yada, yada, and whatever the narrative is, it's not. Just look at the fundamentals. There's no invalidation of this bull market. This is just your normal cycle, pullbacks, healthy, fake outs, all these things that happen in the market, guys. It's par for the course. So be patient. And as always, we look at Bitcoin because Bitcoin leads the market. And when Bitcoin starts to move, the altcoins will follow. So just be patient, guys. Now, something that's very interesting, Fidelity came out today saying that they see nation states and governments to be the next significant investors that might add Bitcoin to their portfolios. And yesterday I highlighted to you guys a Czech national bank is looking to buy Bitcoin. So we're seeing globally the movement towards adopting Bitcoin and crypto. We know Bhutan and El Salvador have been buying Bitcoin and mining Bitcoin. I expect more nation states, sovereign wealth funds, countries, and more to adopt it. And in the United States, of course, we have a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill. So this year is going to be bullish. We're going to see more of it. We're going to see more corporates add Bitcoin as a reserve asset, similar to MicroStrategy. Guys, things are going to get very, very heated and very bullish. Just you got to go through the volatility. Now, check this out, guys. Exodus Wallet. I'm not sure how many of you know of this. I've used this wallet in the past. Eleanor Terry, the Fox Business, highlighted the first crypto wallet to list on a major U.S. exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, rang the opening bell this morning. So pretty historic. I was actually at the New York Stock Exchange yesterday for an interview. I wish I was there today because this would have been pretty cool. But nevertheless, guys, we're going to see more of this year. The crypto market's going to boom. I think companies are going to do their IPOs, go public. So exciting times. Obviously, in the last bull market cycle, Coinbase was that big IPO narrative out there where they went public in Q2, and that was a very exciting time for the market. Now, something else that's interesting about this is that the stock of the Exodus wallet is being tokenized on the Algorand blockchain. So I hold Algorand in my portfolio. I'm bullish on it. And this is significant because this is the future, guys. Stocks and commodities and different financial products on the blockchain tokenized, where you can fractionalize it. It trades 24/7. More liquidity can come in. It opens up more markets. It opens up secondary and tertiary markets as well. So pretty amazing. This is not making the big news because it's the tokenized aspect of it, because the mainstream, they don't recognize what's happening here, but this is significant. Very, very big news. Now, quick word from our sponsor, guys. That's BitGo, one of the top crypto custodians in the market. BitGo has been around for multiple bull market cycles. They're headed up by Mike Belshie, who's a Web 1.0 and 2.0 legend. Many exchanges and companies use BitGo, including Bitstamp Exchange, Suite, a token project, Pantera Capital. That's Dan Moorhead and team. I actually just interviewed Franklin B. from Pantera. I published that this morning. 21 shares, which issues Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So this is a great platform that many institutions use. And recently they launched a retail platform where you can buy, sell, trade crypto. And of course you get top of the level security because this is a tier 1 custodian. And like I said, you can do all those things. You can stake as well. And they're doing a promotion where they're giving away 1 Bitcoin per quarter. So you can go sign up and get a chance to win some Bitcoin. So if you'd like to learn more about BitGo, go to bitgo.com. Link will be in the description. Now, guys, here's some very interesting news coming out of CFTC. Outgoing CFTC Chair Benham pushes for crypto regulations, says it will take time. So we know Boston Benham has been pushing for regulation and pushing for the CFTC to have more of a stake in regulating crypto. And that's what the FIT21 bill outlined. And many in DC want to see more of a balance here because the SEC has too much power. You see what that led to with Gensler and much more. Now, the big question is who will replace Benham, and I think it's Brian Kintenz. Honestly, I've interviewed Brian Kintenz a couple of times. He's a former CFTC chairman. He now works at A16Z. And here, Charles Gasparino, Fox Business says they have learned that the Trump transition team has interviewed at least half a dozen candidates to fill the role of the chairman of the CFTC, which will likely be the lead regulator of the $3.5 trillion crypto industry, thus fulfilling a promise to end the SEC's so-called regulation by enforcement. Now, I think with Paul Atkins coming in as a SEC chair, that's the end of regulation by enforcement. But if we can have more balance between these agencies where the CFTC has more power, that would be really good. And getting someone who understands the crypto industry and that's pro-crypto, I think Trump is going to go that direction. We already see that Trump has put someone pro-crypto at the Treasury, at the SEC, in the White House, the AI crypto czar, David Sachs, and much more. I think if they are able to put Brian Kintenz, that will be a massive win. My goodness. Guys, things are turning very bullish for this market. Now, let's talk about scumbag regulator Gary Gensler. This guy, you know what? I'm not even going to play the clips. I'll give you the TLDR because I don't want you to hear the lies that is coming out of this man's mouth. So this is pretty much his PR move, right? To save face because he knows he's getting kicked out of office. So he sat down with Bloomberg, continued his same bullshit, lying, talking points. Crypto is rife with bad actors and a lot of it is a scam and so forth. And he tried to pull a fast one, talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, and he tried to put CZ in there with Do Kwon. And all of these things, remember, happened under Gary's watch. Gary was not doing his job. And remember, he met with Sam Bankman-Fried multiple times. FTX officials met with the SEC, and the SEC did not put a stop to it. So this is all on Gary, right? Now, as always, we like to keep things balanced. Are there scammers in the crypto industry? Of course. But there's scammers in every industry, even in the most regulated markets. You don't see Gary Gensler constantly talking about the banking sector and the banking industry where JP Morgan and all these big banks, they scam people, do all kinds of things every year and they get fined, right? That's almost like business as usual. And the point is you have to stop bad actors because bad actors are in everywhere. That's human society and civilization. But Gary, his framing is disingenuous, right? He's trying to say, oh, you see all of this stuff, all the bad guys are here, right? Don't look at the banking sector. Don't look at what's happening. Look at crypto. I've been telling you guys it's all scams, right? And just look at in October, FinCEN fined a record penalty, $1.3 billion against TD Bank. Why isn't Gary Gensler going around talking about the banking sector, right? Why does he seem to be so obsessed about crypto? That's because the banking sector has lobbied him, possibly paying him and all that, him and Elizabeth Warren, to attack this industry. We've talked about it for a long time. Gary's a Goldman guy, and I told you guys about the disruption that's happening here, the money that's leaving the banking sector and investment banks and going into crypto. They don't like that. So he was weaponized because before he came at the SEC, very pro crypto. He tried to go work at Binance. He was talking about you can build Uber on Algorand and all these things, right? He was teaching crypto at MIT and much more. Then all of a sudden, this thing is rife with fraud, it's scams and all these things, right? We know the deal here, guys. It's clear as day. But he's going to do his PR tour to try to cover up all the things that he failed and all the bad things that happened. A pathetic, disgusting tenure, and good riddance. I don't know what's going to happen to him after this, but hopefully no one in the crypto industry hires this fool. And it's why I've been calling him a scumbag for years, guys. His attack was very political. Him and Elizabeth Warren coordinated this nonsense. She formed the anti-crypto army, but this is why, or a big part of why the Democrats lost the election, because crypto then said, hey, oh, you want to unfairly attack us? We're going to spend in the election, and the rest is history. But good riddance. He's got, 13 more days or whatever it is, and then he's out. But just so you guys know, he's going around saying the same nonsense over and over and, just straight up lying. But it's pathetic at this point. I think the majority of people see through it. I try to bring it up because I want to make sure people in the mainstream who at least come in and watch this and listen to this podcast know what's happening here. And here's a great example of how crypto is here to stay. Representative Mike Flood, Congressman Mike Flood, who I interviewed last year, he says crypto is here to stay. He shared a clip where he was talking about all this. He said, I'm excited to work with President Trump's crypto czar and the new leadership he'll place at the SEC to help make America the fintech hub of the world. So pretty cool, guys. Majority of Congress now is pro crypto. So Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren, they're done. The army has been defeated. All right, guys, final news item here. Big update around Movement Labs, which is a project. They have their own token. Movement Labs close to finalizing a $100 million Series B rounding fund. These are things we want to see in a growing asset class and industry. They're very healthy. That liquidity, that funding is coming through. And the round is reportedly co-led by Coin Fund and Nova Fund, part of Brevin Howard's digital assets arm. So guys, we are seeing TradFi hedge funds building subsidiaries or arms that are specific to investing in crypto. It's a paradigm shift that's taking place. So the Series B round would value the company at $3 billion, according to one of these sources, and is expected to close by the end of January, with investors receiving a combination of equity and the project's native Move token. Now, hearing this news, I'm going to go research the Move token. I've often told you guys, watch what the hedge funds and VCs are doing. If they're putting a lot of money and liquidity into these projects, they could potentially do well. It's not the only factor that drives a token's price up, but it's certainly a big one. It's one of the pillars, right? Certainly you want to see development activity and a lot of building on the blockchain, adoption as well, in addition to the amount of money that's coming in. And notice, guys, the investors want a combination of equity and the project's native token. So I hope you see what's happening here. So Movement Labs previously raised $38 million in a Series A round led by Polychain Capital, announced in April 2024. It also raised $3.4 million in a pre-seed funding round in 2023. So the Series A funding was used to support the lab's mission to bring Facebook's Move virtual machine to Ethereum. The project aims to address smart contract vulnerabilities and enhance transaction throughput via the Movement Zero Knowledge blockchain. So once again, this is going to be on my radar to research. I'll tell you guys if I do take a position, but I hope you understand the methodology and some of the things I'm looking at here. But hearing this news and the amount of things that are coming in, I'll go research. Is this use case legit? Does it make sense? What's the timeline for development partnerships? Or is there a developer community? People starting to build, yada yada, right? So trying to share some of the knowledge that I've acquired and picking out projects and doing things along those lines. So, guys, this year is off to a great start. I know some of you are going to say, dude, the price is down. Well, the price is down a bit, but compared to where it was at the beginning of 2024 and 2023, it is up. So you got to have perspective. And I always tell you guys, macro view. Don't get too caught up in the micro. And remember, markets are not necessarily your friends. They love to fake you out and all that, but you can hodl through it, right? When you have the long-term view, you end up winning. Obviously, you got to make sure that you're taking your entry in the lows and buying in the bear market and so forth, and then selling the bull market as you make returns. So there's obviously different investment principles and factors you have to stick to, but in general, we want to make sure we're doing our research and we're taking our positions at the right time. Guys, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me and the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Also, be sure to grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digital. Grab a copy for yourself, for your friends and family. Help them to learn about crypto. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and a review. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.